Well, I guess it's that time. What do you know about this year's playoffs? Pain, a whole lot of pain. The one matchup no one besides Chiefs fans wanted. I mean, seriously, we're really gonna have a repeat between the Eagles and the Chiefs, even though we already know how this played out 2 seasons ago? Like, what is this? Two of the most despised franchises duking out. Yep, I guess everybody's gonna be switching up to become Eagles fans for one day only. I mean, at this point, I'm just here for the Kendrick Lamar halftime show. But I guess we may as well go over Championship Sunday. And starting off with the NFC Championship game, the Eagles got the belts out and spanked the Commanders. I mean, we're talking red hot cakes. That is how big of a beating these guys got. Okay, pause. Now, this matchup was a lot more predictable compared to the game in Arrowhead. I mean, I was only calling the Commanders to pull the upset because the Eagles were starting to look like playoff frauds. I mean, Philly being able to beat the Commanders was more realistic, but dropping 50 points? Actually, no, scratch that. 55 points. Like, that's gotta be a record. I mean, at that point, there's only so much JD can do to pull a comeback. But talk about overkill. I mean, Saquon had an elite game, pass catchers and Brown, Smith, Goddard showed up, and that defense, straight up overkill. I mean, even Jalen Hurts is getting some jabs in. Yeah, Hurts officially beats the fraud allegations and should have never been in the fraud watch in the first place. Yeah, turns out I was not familiar with your game. But you're still on fraud parole for the next 2 weeks. But really looking into this game, the Commanders really just shot themselves in the foot. Over and over with the fumbles. I mean, did they decide to have a Butterfinger weekend or something? Because it feels like some Dan Snyder type of scheme. I mean, Buddy's been an absolute hater ever since he sold the team. Yeah, I know Buddy's smiling right now, but I don't want to see anybody put this game on Jaden Daniels. Dude has been having fourth quarter comebacks all year. There's only so much this man can do with his supporting cast. But overall, this was a solid season. To make the NFC Championship game in a rebuilding season, once they use this offseason to actually build a better roster, this is going to be a dominant team for years to come. Right now, they just don't have enough to face a team like Philadelphia. But the worst takeaway from this game, the Rams would have smoked the Commanders. Like, no competition. Like, we were one blocked sack away from actually making the Super Bowl. Like, that just makes me sick. And moving on to more madness, we got the Chiefs getting another narrow win against Buffalo, securing themselves as AFC champs for the 5th time in 6 years and returning to the Super Bowl for a 3rd time in a row, hoping to make the three-peat. Who is gonna stop these guys? I mean, Ravens, Bills, Chargers, Texans fans, y'all can argue whatever you want on who's the best team between y'all, but the Chiefs are just on another level. I mean, I can even put Cincinnati in that conversation, but at least they actually beat the Chiefs in the playoffs before. But that was over 3 years ago. And do you want to know the crazy part? All of the top tier quarterbacks are in the AFC, yet they still can handle a guy like Mahomes. I mean, if you're a Buffalo fan, Bills supporter, or a certified Chiefs Swiftie hater, this was absolute heartbreak. It's like they can beat the Chiefs, they're just not allowed to. I mean, 0-4 against Mahomes in the playoffs. I mean, from a neutral standpoint, Kansas City was gonna win this one. And I'm not even backpedaling. I wanted Buffalo to win. But with the wins Kansas City has racked up over the past couple of seasons, this feels no different than any regular season game. I mean, 17 postseason wins. That's a full season. They're just that good. Now, starting things off with Buffalo, they played a good game. But when it came down to that final possession, legacy-defining throw on 4th down, I mean, Dalton Kincaid, you gotta catch that. But his drop was drastically different from January 19th Mark Andrews. And speaking about pass catchers, whoever's donning number 13 and is playing against the Chiefs in the playoffs, they're gonna have a legacy game. I mean, this has to be some Gabe Davis effect because this is the first time I ever heard about Mac Hollins. Yeah, whether it was just pure luck or real skill, dude showed out. Unspoken warrior of the night. But for Buffalo as a whole, the season just ended again the same way every single year. Genuinely, I thought this was gonna be your year. But for a somewhat retooling year, this season was low-key a W. Now for Kansas City. I mean, for competing in a narrative-fueled league, was anybody really surprised? Was anybody really shocked? I mean, the Chiefs have been in this position countless times for the past 7 years. They have enough championship games to fill out every day of the week. That's how good these guys are when it comes down to a close one. Now, to all the Chiefs fans out there, as a Rams fan, I'm the last person to really be hating on the Chiefs. I mean, you guys did stop the 49ers from getting 2 chips. I think just from that, we can find common ground. But you gotta admit that the officiating was tweaking out. This play was a 1st down. This play was either an interception or incomplete pass. This should not be ruled as a catch. In what universe was this ruled as a catch? But we can do an instant replay. I mean, surely a multi-billion-dollar industry supposedly has the ability to do so. Surely they can update to the most advanced technology. But with those games in the books, we got the season finale between the Eagles and Kansas City in Super Bowl 59. Now, for this matchup, I'm going to be releasing a video giving a full analysis on my pick for the Super Bowl champ sometime next week. But before I end this off, I have one more take. I've been hearing a lot of people trying to boycott this matchup. Just straight up stop watching football in general just to go off to do better things. Even going out to predict this is going to be the lowest viewing Super Bowl in NFL history. Now I have no problem with that whatsoever, but you're not going to be missed, like genuinely. Like, what is your end game? And don't get me wrong, this is the last rematch I wanted to happen. There are some good narratives going into this game. In a very small chance the Eagles pull the upset, Saquon can get his first ring. I mean, the Super Bowl is on Saquon's birthday. I mean, imagine hoisting the Lombardi taking down the Chiefs, the 2024 Chiefs. Like, that has got to be the best wish you can ask for. And then you got other guys like AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts, D-Hop. The fact that D-Hop can actually get his first ring. And whether you hate, dislike, support, respect, or disrespect the Chiefs, you're gonna have to deal with the Chiefs. If you can handle the dynasty that they had in New England, you can definitely handle the dynasty in Kansas City. I mean, the Patriots dynasty was literally dark side. Yeah, the conspiracy theories that you guys have for Kansas City was nowhere near the amount of cases that New England pulled. I mean, the Patriots literally had cases of actually cheating. Just the fact that the Chiefs can be the first NFL team to three-peat, the first sports team to three-peat as champions since the Lakers. Like, they're literally making history. I mean, in my opinion, I gotta give it up for Kansas City. Not a lot of teams can say that they have what it takes to win multiple Super Bowls, let alone one. I mean, it's without a doubt one of the hardest championships to pull out of all four major sports, without a doubt. Every NFL playoff game is a Game 7, but to have the chance to pull it off 3 years in a row, yeah, I think that's more than enough proof as one of the greatest dynasties. But until then, I don't want to hear the Brady-Mahomes go debates. But that's pretty much going to wrap up this video's reactions to Championship Sunday. And if you want to be on the lookout for more football videos, be sure to follow me on IG and Twitter. Make sure you sub to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.